This episode of Beers and Brawls is proudly brought to you by Shifty Lizard Brewing Co. Amazing little brewery down in Wollonga, serving up awesome ice cold beers on tap. They also have a kitchen that has amazing burgers and chicken wings. If you can't get down to Wollonga, they have another venue in Adelaide CBD called Hard Day's Night, where they have all their beers on tap, plus they paired up with a few other food trucks there. So if you're looking for something to do on your next weekend free, get down to Wollonga or Hard Day's Night, make a day of it, try all their beers, try their food, you'll love it. I love it. It's one of my favourite places. So, cheers. That's a good drop. Welcome to Beers and Brawls, the show where my guests and I drink beer and talk all things wrestling. I'm your host Jared, and welcome back to another episode of Beers and Brawls. We have an awesome guest with us tonight. He's a legend of Australian wrestling. He is the real voice of Australian wrestling. You've seen him and heard him all over Australia, but mainly in PWSA and Riot City at the moment. He is Paul Roberts. Paul, thank you for joining me on the show.
My pleasure, Jared.
I've been wanting to get you on for a long time. You're a busy man working all these companies, but I appreciate you taking your time out of your schedule to come sit down with me tonight.
And, we were a few episodes into the Beer and Brawls, and I thought, I should have been on by now.
Yeah,
I was thinking, what's going on here? Normally I get a bit of a run in these shows. But then we did talk, I reckon, the RCW Awards, and you gave me a valid reason, so we're all good. We're here now, we're all good.
Exactly. We're gonna dangle the fruit for the fans, Keep them guessing who's going to come on and make them wait for the big juicy ones. But I've got a beer for you right here from the sponsor Shifty Lizard. Nice little ale to get you going. But before that, we'll just get the welcome shot on. Now, unfortunately, Shifty Lizard don't make a liquor, but that's all right.
Make bourbon.
Oh, there you go.
Get onto it. Get on the bourbon, and we're laughing.
There we go. Well, the boys watch the show, so hopefully they'll take the shout out and I'll throw the lid away and they'll make some bourbon. All right. So, thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, not bad.
Puts hairs on your chest.
It warms you up, especially tonight. Another cold night here in Adelaide as usual, but that's all right. So you're rocking the Riot City gear there as well?
Absolutely.
What do you think? Beer all right?
Yeah, very sort of fruity. Got a fruity flavour to it. We'll see how we travel.
No, the boys make some good beer there. So anyway, I appreciate you coming on tonight. So what's been going on in the world of Paul Roberts lately?
Well, obviously a lot of Riot City Wrestling, PWSA, Pro Wrestling South Australia, of course. That's where I pretty well made Paul Roberts, the voice of Australian wrestling, was Pro Wrestling South Australia, or Snake Pit as it was known for the majority of it. Obviously being the general manager, the ring announcer, the commentator at times, you name it, the everything. Over the years for PWSA, I've done everything.
And you mean everything? You've even been in the ring.
In the ring, I've put the ring together. I've put the ring down. I've made the video clips. I've made Powerslam TV shows for 7 years. So very busy, obviously, with PWSA, but very happy to be at Riot City Wrestling.
Absolutely.
If we go back through my history, my heart is very RCW. You can especially talk to Angus. You've probably seen it pop up with old photos of me in the crowd. So I've always had a love, obviously, for Riot City Wrestling, but very hard place to crack into, shall we say? So I to be where I am today went down other paths to get there. And as many guys that have in RCW nowadays have travelled down a different path to get there.
Yeah, absolutely. No, sometimes you got to put in the groundwork elsewhere to then to reap the rewards. But no, it's good to see you flourishing in there and working hard, commentary, ring announcing, that sort of stuff, all over the place. So it's good, man. It's good to see. So what we're going to do now, we're going to get into our rapid fire questions.
Rapid fire. I don't like anything too rapid.
Oh,
I'm getting old, you know.
It's not too quick, just 10 questions in 5 minutes. Now, you're a bit of a fan of the show, so you sort of, you know what's sort of coming, but we might throw some curveballs at you.
Well, that's right. That's what I was worried about. And I was hoping we'd get a little preview, but obviously not. So let's see how we go
here. Guests don't see the questions, so I'll just set it up and then we'll get into it.
Except for WB Bellows, when you have to send them to his people to make sure.
He checks everything, that bloke. He's got that tinfoil hat going. But let me get this organised. All right, the questions are ready. The time is ready. Are you ready?
Ready as I'll ever be.
All right, we'll start now. Who is Paul Roberts? What is he all about?
Oh God, I'm a voice. I'm the voice of Australian wrestling. Just love wrestling, love being involved. Hopefully, I'm doing an okay job, and people seem to love what I do. So
they definitely, you get some good reactions.
So that's me.
Easy, that's straight to it. I like it. When did you start getting involved with wrestling?
About 2009. I mean, being involved in the business.
Yeah, in the business.
Yep. 2009 with Joel Bateman in Pro Wrestling Ignition was my start.
Yep. Yeah, beautiful. If you can narrow it down to a couple, who's your favourite wrestler and why?
Macho Man Randy Savage.
Done.
He is the man. Just as a kid, I don't know what it was. I mean, even as a heel, as the bad guy, you just love the guy. Love the work that he did, and I don't know. I'm probably different than other fans. I could just really appreciate what he could do, and even as a kid, I could just appreciate what the Macho Man could do. He could talk, he could wrestle, he was everything.
Nice.
My man.
No, I love it. All right, awesome. Now, we just mentioned before you have been in the ring, so what's your favourite match of yours?
I mean, there hasn't been many, so they're all pretty good. They've all got their merits and memories. Special one, and I'm going to say the name. It's always mentioned on this episode. Matt Hayter.
Oh, boo.
In a cage.
Yeah.
So myself and Johnny Ruddick taking on Matt Hayter in a handicap cage match.
Jesus.
So that was a pretty good highlight memory. But yeah, they've all been pretty special. Obviously had a couple of times with my own son as well, and all that. So they're all, they're all special. I won the first time I really got in the ring, in which I eliminated Matt Hayter. It was the Luch Memorial Battle Royal.
Okay.
So I won that,
nice.
Which was pretty special.
Absolutely.
Being so close with Luch and.
Yeah, no, nice. We'll drop a link to the cage match in the description, guys, so you can watch it at home. If you were to get back in the ring, who's your dream opponent?
Oh God. I don't know about it. He's just retired, but I'd love to, rather than teaming with Johnny, be, against Johnny.
Yeah,
it'd be nice.
Yeah, no, he's been on this show, Big Johnny. He loves it.
Mm-hmm.
Wrestling in Australian wrestling, you're challenged for a drinking competition.
What am I doing?
Drinking competition.
All right, let's go.
Oh. Who would you challenge?
Who would I challenge?
Yeah.
You've had the best two drinkers on here. It's pretty tough between Down Under and WV Bellows.
Yeah.
But I get to do it with WV Bellows all the time. That's all right.
There you go. All right. Well, Down Under, you're on.
Downy, let's go.
He's the most named person, I think. What's been your most embarrassing moment in the ring? It doesn't have to be a match. It can be as an announcer.
Basically that. Your mind goes 100 miles an hour. And sometimes the words come out a bit funny.
Yeah.
Especially when you're doing big spiels and things like that. There's been a couple of times where I haven't quite thought through properly, or the mind's further ahead than what the mouth is, and things haven't come out too well. So that's probably, up there.
That's right, we've all been there.
Mm.
What are your goals in the wrestling business at the moment?
Look, I'm probably getting towards the end. To me, being involved in Riot City Wrestling was my biggest goal and achievement in wrestling. Especially at the late age I started and stuff like that. So, to me, that I'm happy to be there. So that's a pretty big goal. Look, we'd all love to go bigger, higher, better, but I'm happy where I am.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's awesome, man. I like that. If you were to have another match, what match type would you love to compete in?
Oh, God. Look, I've done a cage match, done normal matches.
That's a lot more than a lot of people.
I'd have to, maybe a dog collar match.
Yeah. I think Katie Trey is good at those. We might have to sign him up. He's hanging around. Take that belt off him.
With the dog.
The dog show, take the belt off him and off we go.
Yeah.
What is wrestling missing today, in your opinion?
Look, some have got it right. Some are missing things.
Yeah.
Overall, that's pretty good. Don't worry about the timer.
Keep going.
But look, overall, some companies are doing really well. They've got great products. They've got great wrestlers.
Yeah.
All that sort of stuff. There's some that obviously don't. But then I've always said there's a place for all these promotions, people, and things like that. Look, you'd love to see everyone working together. But, there's too many egos and that's never going to happen. So,
I think it's getting better in some places, but definitely. That's a good answer, man. So a couple bonus questions now.
Bonus?
Might be one bonus. We'll see how I feel. So, you were mainly in PWSA. We're still there, obviously, but you're in Riot City, featured a lot now. So I'm going to do this in two parts. First one's PWSA. Your top 3 wrestlers in PWSA?
Currently in PWSA?
Currently, yep. They can be PWSA originals and onlys, or they can be floaters in. It's up to you.
Look, he's only just hung the boots up, but obviously Johnny is a talent, a classic, everything like that. So, very good. Look, Viper's always good. Over the years, and look, he's getting stuck into it, and really right now. So
he's looking great,
I reckon watch Viper over the next 12 months or something like that. He's going to be. I reckon. Look out for Jake Viper. And has been for years. Always been great guy, great product. Nothing flash, but gets in there and really
gets the job done.
Gets it stuck into it. God, there's so many. Look, Acid Hayes, obviously a great talent. Got the natural ability. We call him the golden child number 2 at PWSA. Axel Impact's number 1. Acid. But then there's other great talents. Twisted J's great. Brett Santorini. If that guy really spent some time honing his skills and stuff, like his potential is actually unlimited.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I've seen him as a kid start to, obviously life gets in the way. You can't always do what you want to do. And it makes it hard. So some people can't. But if that guy had the opportunity to, spend the time in the gym at training, 2-3 nights a week, he would be up there as
absolutely.
One of the best.
I love it. Awesome. And now on the other company, Riot City, your top 3.
Look, I've always put Chris Basso in my top 3 of Australian wrestling.
Good choice.
So great. Look, the place produces quality product. What can I say? Look, Grimm's right there too. I love Downey. Great product. Yourself has come such a big way.
Who are you talking about?
I'm
Jared from Beers and Brawls.
That's right, just that Jared guy. No, there's some guy called Redshaw. Dropped me on my head once.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'm surprised you got up.
So love Downey. Dean Brady's great. Delta. I've been on the Delta train from the word go. I was very lucky there. Like, as a commentator, someone comes in or they do things. You're trying to make them sound exactly what they are. Yeah, and obviously when you first start, you're rough around the edges, you're green, all that sort of stuff. And Delta definitely was that first time back at High Marsh, attacking Savannah and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But we pumped the hell out of her.
Yeah.
And she has just got better and better and better and better. Yeah. And what I was saying about her on day one is she has proven it today. She's
a beast.
Absolutely. And I've said, not just the best women's competitor, she is one of the great wrestlers in Australia wrestling right now.
Absolutely. No, we're hoping to get her on the show one day, but she's got to do a bit more for my liking. Hasn't achieved enough yet.
Just MCW Women's Champion, multi-time tag champion. She's doing all right. She's doing great and still got a long way to go.
Oh yeah, potential's huge.
The potential's huge, So look, like I said, there's just so many. Mr. Cliff's doing great from the time he started to now, and still got way to grow. What can I say? There's just a huge.
Well, then following up on that, following what you're just saying, another bonus question: top 3 that you have your eye on in South Australia. The top 3 up and comers, or ones that are improving that you have your eye on that are sort of ready to take a leap.
Like I said, Delta's there. Like I said, Mr. Cliff.
Yeah.
Definitely, he's got the potential and can still do a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Like I said, your turnaround the last 12 months has been huge, and look forward to the next 12 months in that.
Yeah.
Katie's done well.
Yeah.
Like I said. I was probably now picking guys that are getting there, but like I said, look, Vinny, love Vinny.
Yeah, Vinny.
Ooh, Vinny, go Vinny.
He's representing in New Zealand at the moment.
Over to the Farley Dojo.
Yeah.
So big stuff for him. Snacks as well, touring in the world.
In England or something.
Yeah. Like I seen him in Italy, and he was did. Quick stop in America first, did he? Or
I think
something
so.
like that.
Progressive or something like that. Where he was.
So we've still got a lot of guys that aren't hugely featured yet here. That are already trying to better their skills. The experienced Snacks would be getting doing those shows around the world. What he's going to come back to us with, and same with Vinny. The Snacks, Vinny, Mr. Cliff, probably my 3 at the moment to watch over the next 12 months, see what they can do.
No, that's awesome. I love it. Great answers, man. And God, your knowledge is just, the stuff that you remember is awesome, man. So, no, that's awesome. That brings us to the end of the questions. I appreciate that. Amazing answers. And obviously we like to keep an eye on what you're going to do coming up as well. And obviously you've achieved that big goal you had of hitting Riot City, but who knows what could be on the horizon for you, and maybe a dog collar match with Katie Trey. We'll see if we can set that up. We got to reach out to him. We got to get him on again.
I'm getting old.
That's all right. You never know.
I'm a lot better behind the microphone.
You can hit him with the mic and get it over with quick.
That's it.
But thank you for that. Now we're going to go into our photos. So I'm going to get that loaded up and we'll get into it. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
All right, Paul. Photos are ready. Now I've dug as far as I can to find these. So a lot of them are with you with a mic in your hand. I'm going to admit that. But we're going to look at your start and where you're up to now in your career. And we're going to start with photo number 1.
Okay, that's not early, but it is.
It's not early. Yeah, well. It's the best I could find.
But, so early Snake Pit days.
Early Snake Pit days,
probably very close to just after. Not quite sure if that... I'm terrible with timelines. So,
That's all right. That's okay.
But
The timeline might be thrown out in these pictures anyway.
yeah, that's all right. But trying to remember if I'm general manager, president, or whatever we called it at that stage, or whether it was still when Haz was around being the GM. But would have been in that sort of era. St. J's Rec Centre.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Which is no longer there, but big history for a couple of promotions in Salisbury was the St. J's. So.
Yeah, nice. Easy. All right, number 2.
Oh, that's the basketball place around Hillcrest. Probably very close to the same era.
Yeah.
Just, one of our
Same
weekly...
outfit.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. I didn't have to change it a lot. I'm not wrestling all the time.
No, exactly.
Most of the time I was just stuck behind the microphone. So.
No, that's all right. That's why we need people like that, and you've made a good...
I'm just blending in.
That's good, man. I don't know what's going on here, but some sort of stubby holder.
Yeah, that's Chopper Coleman.
Oh, okay.
SA wrestling legend.
There you go.
Chopper Coleman. The Morford Vale Mauler.
Right. Okay, nice.
Now, if you were a kid in the early days of wrestling, when it was you didn't know all the stuff, you would have been terrified of this man.
Okay, right. Yeah.
He would have absolutely given kids nightmares. But the nicest guy I've ever met, lovely, and love Chopper. But yeah, great man. Came back for a little while in Snake Pit PWSA. That's when the stubby holder originated.
Yep.
And he did a few shows. We were doing a lot of Noarlunga shows and stuff.
Oh, okay, nice. Yeah.
Around that time. I
think that's the Morford Vale 40 Colours, isn't it?
It possibly could be, could be. I'm not sure where it originated from, but I had a T-shirt and the stubby holder. I was pretty happy.
Nice. Good. You still got that?
I've got the stubby holder. I wore the T-shirt out. I think I might still have one folded up. I like to wear them, but I like to keep them as well. I've got all the original. I've just recently repurchased all the original RCW shirts, which I had. Yeah. But obviously, like I said, they got worn out. So
of course.
It was great to be able to grab some some reprints.
Yeah, and they were off wrestler merch, which is now
it's gone. So now, hopefully we do something else to keep the old ones going, so I can keep replacing.
Hopefully, wrestler merch comes back with someone else, but we'll see. All right, another one here.
The Freight Train Benjamin Stevens. I must have been GM at this time.
GM, yeah,
or president. I think we called it president back at that stage. That whole thing came around with Luke Hazard and myself, and we timed it in with the actual Australian election, for the government. So the same day that you could go and vote for the government was come to Snake Pit that night, vote Paul Roberts or Luke Hazard as the president of Snake Pit.
That's good.
We had the whole lead up, the speeches and things at shows and
See, that's what Australian wrestling's missing, some stories like that. That's amazing.
But that's the freight train probably telling me to go away or do something like that, St. J's again, different curtains. Same sort of probably era, still wearing the same gear. Like I said, must have been president, manager at the time.
Yeah. Still doing the ring announcing though?
Ring announcing, probably still doing commentary at that stage too. Yeah. Editing the DVD, putting on Powerslam on TV once a week, making sure all the music's queued up for someone to sit in the back and hit play and stop. Big part of. I may not get in the ring too often, but everything else in that place.
You play the most important part, mate. The wrestlers are just the show. You're the most important part, so don't worry about that. Here we go. What's going on? Who's this?
There's the Chopper T-shirt.
Oh, there you go.
And that's probably when I'm at my biggest, along with the Jackal.
Okay, yeah.
PWSA champion, good friend of mine, is the Jackal. This was at Enfield, backstage at Enfield at the Enfield Community Centre on Regency Road.
Yeah.
Good friend of mine. grabbed a photo.
What happened to that belt?
You'd have to ask the owners of PWSA where that's disappeared to.
That's a nice belt.
Yeah, no, it was pretty good. It was nice having that belt. Always looked the part. So,
Yeah. Yeah, nice. I like it. And you got yourself a sign. Look at that. The sexy voice. Whoa.
Apparently so. This is in Noarlunga at the basketball, the skating rink hall, whatever. In Noarlunga. I can't remember what exactly it was called. Community centre, possibly right next to the shopping centre.
Travelling around by Snake Pit PWSA.
We did at that stage. We did. There was one stage not long before we sort of moved into the Paraka shed. We did 13 weeks in a row on the road.
Oh,
so setting up, packing down every weekend for 13 weeks in a row. Noarlungas, Enfields, Salisbury, St. Jay's, Elizabeth, or wherever it may be. So
far out.
Yeah, so for about 13 weeks leading up to moving into the shed at Paraka, sort of that's what helped make that decision to try the shed at Paraka. Obviously, one, like I said, St. Jay's no longer there.
Yeah.
That was always a good staple, as you can see from a lot of the photos we started off with. So St. Jay's was a great staple for Snake Pit. So with that closing down, we sort of hit the road, and that helped make that decision, like, would it be cool to have a place that it's all set up? We can do weekly wrestling. We walk in, turn the lights on, and do a few things. It's showtime, folks. So
because they were running weekly shows, weren't they? PWSA will go 2 a week or something.
5 years in the Paraka shed, we did pretty well 6 shows a month. So 1 week you would do a Saturday night showdown. Following week was Friday night fights and a Sunday slam. So if anyone wants to ever argue about how many shows I've done, even if it's not the amount of years I've been involved in the business, for 5 years we did 6 shows a month.
Jesus.
So times that by your 12, times that by 5.
Do your maths, kids.
Do your maths. Get the little calculator out. And that's just in that 5 year period. Like, we're not talking about the years leading up to that and since as well.
And then I guess you're getting that experience every week, twice a week, whatever. But you got guys like Matt Hayter, Corvidae, all those blokes, Acid Hayes, all those that were getting all that experience of just working non-stop.
And that's what I said earlier. Every company has its place.
Yeah.
PWSA have never drawn the lucky straw of great entranceways and lighting and stereos and things like that. We've fumbled through with what we've got.
I mean, Carradinga's not bad now. But
it's getting there. There's a few improvements coming as well still. So, that'll be good. And look, we had some great entranceways at Paraka. They were pretty good. But that was obviously different because we were permanent there. So we haven't been lucky with that. So and the wrestlers weren't always the best looking, top quality sort of guys as well. But as you said, if we go back through the history, Mike Boomer, Zach Sabbath, Matt Hayter, and I'm probably missing a ton more that have walked through the door. In between walking and in and out of doors, Jonah the Rocks and had a big stint, Adelaide Open champion.
Nice.
So it's a great place to work on your product. What I did.
Absolutely.
It took me a long time.
Apparently.
I'll blame some other people for that.
We'll get into that after a few more beers.
We'll put the hard word on it. Why didn't you get me earlier? But like I said, I had to do the hard work for a long time elsewhere to be where I wanted to be. And look, that place is always going to mean the world to me.
Of course.
Because it's been a long time. And without that place, my name means, like, when I started doing stuff at RCW, and I was with Sean originally then, and we'd go out, and he just couldn't believe the reaction that we would go out to with me. You know, he's been used to going out with just commentators. Guys that might have done a little bit of stuff, and, you know, everyone goes, yay. Then one time we walked out and just my name just chanting like that, and he's just like, wow.
I think the one thing that can prove that is we need your entrance music from PWSA.
I've asked for that, but I got rejected.
Nah, well, I'll make some calls. I know some people. I know some Emerald Crown champions that could maybe make the call for you. Here's a promo photo for you.
Yeah, that was on the website once upon a time when we bothered having a website back in those days.
Websites are coming back. RCW just
released one, especially with the Vault and all that sort of that's pretty good. But, of course, guess who built the website?
Was it Angus?
No, the RCW.
I'm talking about PWSA, you.
Yeah. So not only not only everything website as well.
Web designer. Look at that.
I mean, that's how I got in the business. That's exactly how I got in the business.
Okay, right.
So if we were going to take a sidetrack there, I was a fan of RCW. At the time, Joel Bateman used to go and watch RCW in the crowd. And got talking to him because I'd seen him on other shows and things like that. And, you know, sort of got a little bit friendly and stuff like that. Probably added him on the Facebook. And then one day he pops up, can anyone do a website?
Okay,
Oh, well, yeah, I'm not flash at it, but I can make a website. So I shoot him a message, hey, yeah, I can make one. Oh, I want to make one for PWI, Pro Wrestling Ignition. All right, I'll give it a crack for you. So away we went, and that was how I basically got the first step in the door of the business.
Nice.
But yes, that was off the Snake Pit website. That was a promo photo for that one.
Awesome, that's wicked. Well, hopefully we can get Joel Bayman on the show one day. That'll be amazing. Have a chat to him. He's doing some great things in Melbourne at the moment.
Yes, absolutely.
What have we got here? So that looks pretty fancy.
That's Paraka.
Ah, nice.
Right, so this is where we got to make a staple for ourselves. It was, like I said, it was walk in, turn the lights on, it was great.
Right, so that stayed set up.
That stayed set up.
Okay,
So above the entranceway was a big screen for the video clips. To the left, we actually used to have a live camera off the ring playing on that screen.
Oh, wow.
And the one over on the far right used to just have advertising on it flipping over during the show.
Yeah, wicked.
So we had the three big screens
that's cool.
up there.
Yeah, nice.
Had the Snake Pit printed curtain, the logos printed on the walls, Snake Pit Pro Wrestling in the letters across the top, my commentary desk off to the left there, left corner. So that was all, there was a stage level with the ring. So once you walked up backstage into the curtain, you're always up on that level. So there's the stage all in front of it. There's a ramp to the ring. So you're always up on that.
Awesome.
On that high level.
That's so cool.
So that was all. Yeah, like you said, it was cool. All the lights were set up and stuff like that. And just turn it on and away we used to be able to go. Friday night fight, Saturday night showdown, Sunday slam, birthday party. So not only the 6 a month, we used to do birthday parties.
I've heard about that.
So Matt Hayter used to do some great characters at birthday parties.
God.
But they were always great fun, birthday parties. You used to mess around big time with those.
This is what we need. We need some of this.
But that was always great. Yeah, that place stayed like that. 5 years. We changed the entrance a few times and stuff like that. But eventually we dropped it all on the ground. So you used to have to go up the steps to the ring and stuff like that. But Paraka, it was great. It was probably wrong location, money wise, stuff like that. Big dollars it was there. And look, it's pretty hard when you're running Australian wrestling weekly. I've always said it, and I'll say it a million times, the population isn't there for consistent big crowd wrestling. Look, you can have New Japan Pro Wrestling roll into town and draw 1,000 people. Adelaide, I've seen Entertainment Centre struggle to fill for a WWE show. So if you can't fill a 10,000 people entertainment centre with the biggest company in the world,
Yep.
you're not the biggest place to be running pro wrestling.
No.
We do great for what we do.
Yep.
And look, our product is as good as the biggest companies in the world at times. Look at, Rhea Ripley.
Yeah.
The best in the world.
Yeah, exactly.
Came from this product. So, the products are there.
Yeah.
The fan base isn't there.
Well, I think maybe in this day and age, like something like that would have been good. Say you do that now, but you'll be doing recording and putting on YouTube.
Yes.
I think that would be I think you were a bit ahead of your time on the nights.
Yeah, well, see, at that stage we were just doing Powerslam on TV, Channel 44.
Right, yeah.
So, and it was always funny. I'd talk to people out, talk to family, friends, things like that, and I'm involved in wrestling, yeah. They'd always bring up the name Riot City Wrestling.
Yeah.
Or, are you the ones on TV?
Yeah.
Well, we were the ones on TV.
Yeah.
No, not Riot City. Ones on the TV.
Yeah, well, that's pretty good to be on TV though. Far out.
So I probably produced that for 6-7 years, a weekly TV show.
Far out. That's so good.
So yeah, it was good having weekly shows. Other than being very busy,
yeah,
you at least had a lot of content to be able to just pick a match here, pick a match here, and throw it on. We could, you do 2 shows over the weekend. I only had to pick 2, maybe 3 matches out of it, put them together, and bang, there's Powerslam. So
yeah, nice. That's so good.
So this was
you are having a match here.
This was the match. You're not. This was the first match.
Are you in this match or
Yes.
a manager?
No.
It doesn't make sense.
No, what happened was, all right. So this was my first match.
Oh, okay.
So at the time, I was obviously president or general manager, whatever we were calling it. Mike Boomer and Max Profit were hanging around together.
Okay, yeah.
And it was on my 40th birthday. Now, I can't quite remember the circumstances, but I punched Boomer in the face. I do have the video clip somewhere.
Oh, nice.
I punched Boomer in the face, dropped him. So that then ensued into Boomer and Profit taking action with the lawyers and police and everything, and I had to surrender being general manager.
Yeah.
So, as you can see, Radic loses, he must retire. Profit loses, he must retire. So, which was pretty, at the time, pretty cool that Johnny would put himself on the line for me.
For you, yeah.
Like I said, that's why when you asked about who would you face in a match, I've always tagged with Johnny.
Yeah.
So Johnny's always been on my side. And look, everyone seems to love the Roberts and Radic sort of connection.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whenever we've done this sort of stuff, we did the whole HRPW versus Snake Pit era thing.
Yeah.
We did the us two against Hader. We did Johnny was in both my he was in my Survivor Series match when I took on Brady's Survivor Series match. So yes, we're having a tag team match. Me and Johnny versus Boomer and Profit, like we say. So yeah, they were trying to get me to hand over the general managership. So then Johnny's like, no, you can't do it that way. So we're going to have the match to decide. Who's going to be in control of PWSA. So like I said, I'm terrible with timelines.
That's all right.
Like I said, it all started with me punching Boomer. All right. So yes, sorry, let's backstep a fraction here.
Yeah, all right.
So yes, I punched Boomer. They got the general managership off of me.
Right.
by legal means.
Okay.
So I basically had to hand up the general managership to Profit, or they were going to sue Snake Pit, everyone in the face of the earth, and the company was going to not exist. Because I punched Boomer in the face. So the idea was, Johnny's trying to get me back as the general manager. So that's where he put that stipulation on the line.
Right.
You want to get rid of me? Beat us. You're going to still be general manager. Mike Boom will be here. Paul Roberts is done. Johnny Raddick's done. We're gone. We come to the big tag team match to get me back as general manager. So that was on our channel until our channel got hacked. We had a big we had a lot of years of stuff. We are going to try and restore all that because I've got a million hard drives at home, which would have this match on it.
Oh, wicked! I can't wait.
So I will throw you that once
absolutely.
I'll dig that out and we'll put it back up.
Once you got it, man, send it through.
I'll send it through. So yes, big tag team match, and we went on to beat them, and Johnny Raddick stayed, obviously, and I became general manager again.
I love it, dude. That's heaps good. Here we go, another one coming out of you.
So, yeah, this is Paraka again. That time, so this is the first incarnation of the voice.
Okay.
I was the voice, the t-shirt there says, the voice of Powerslam. So, at the time, we obviously had the voice of wrestling, Mr. Luke Hazard.
Yeah.
And I was probably giving him a hard time because I'm good friends with Mr. Hazard. Probably giving him a hard time about he's doing bugger all. I should be the voice of SA Wrestling.
Yeah.
So at the time, be the voice of Powerslam.
No.
Yeah, right. Why not? Why not? It was a big thing at that time. We were probably right in the height of the Powerslam sort of run. So because I changed it from what it originally was. Like the guys had always done great for what they had and could. I was a little bit more computer savvy, so multi-camera started happening, commentary over the top started happening with Powerslam and all that. Originally it was just maybe one camera angle, two if you were lucky, no commentary, stuff like that. You know, I tried to turn it into a bit better sort of looking production as such for the last run it had. So the voice of Powerslam, I was there.
Nice.
There was a few changes as we went down the track.
I like it though, that's good. What, you got a crown on here?
This is probably getting close to the height of around Snake Pit versus... God, I was huge then. Snake Pit versus HRPW.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Johnny was the king of community television. And he was the one, you know, that has supposedly purchased HRPW, was going to destroy Snake Pit.
Yeah.
And one of the best and biggest storylines I've ever been involved in, we've done the final night. Man, what a night. That's something that, if it's not already up there, we'll have to get that back up there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is the final battle. I think we called it the final battle, something like that. We have to get it up there.
Yeah.
It was the biggest storyline in our company or wrestling at the time. Even I'd seen a lot of people from other companies sitting in the crowds at that stage. It was because the thing that made it so believable was, you know, okay, Johnny, I've bought HRPW, I'm going to destroy Snake Pit. You can go, yeah, okay. Brought a couple of guys that were HRPWs and then brought Blake Mitchell.
Okay. And
that just put the credibility into HRPW was there.
Yeah.
You know, obviously Blake was HRPW.
Yeah.
So that put that credibility into, and everyone's all of a sudden, hang on a second, they're really persisting with, and Blake, him and Ben Johns doing their promos, we're renaming this place and they're cutting all these promos and posting them. And it just made that credibility of, and all the guys we managed to get all the old HRPW guys, and then the guys that were Snake Pit had been in HRPW, so some of them were sort of jumping, some were... like you had your Aces, who was a HRPW originally, and he's in Snake Pit, but such, like me and Ace have always had that connection. He's always been seen as my man, my favourite. So that was always is Ace going to jump, and he always made that, am I going to jump to HRPW? Do I stay with Paul at Snake Pit? So it made it really a really good storyline. It was probably done better than your WCWs versus WWEs and stuff like that too. And that final night when it all went down, the crowd, on the video, you can probably hear me because we recorded straight off the mic amps. But I couldn't hear myself in the arena, like over the PAs. Like the noise was that loud, it was unbelievable. But at that time, probably something was going on. Probably gave Johnny a kick up the arse, dropped his crown, and I grabbed it and was playing around in the ring, shit stirring Johnny.
Nice. No, I love it, dude. That's wicked. No, we have to get the film for those ones.
Yes.
Here's King Johnny with you.
Yes. This is the Empire age.
Empire. Yes.
Maybe it wasn't quite in the final battle stage. Oh no, the background's changed.
Is that Tyler Daniels on the commentary?
Yeah, it could be. He spent a bit of a time with me there. I got to spend some good time with Tyler on commentary. Love Tyler.
Yeah.
One of my favourites. Like I said, the background is different. The other one did look more like Final Battle. This is Empire, maybe version 3 stage. Doc Kincaid, and that will be Matt Hayter off to the right, I reckon, as the other tag team champion.
Okay.
They were the Emperor's Guard or whatever they were. I can't think of the name that they were at the time. The Imperial Guard. Okay, yeah. Kincaid and Hayter, along with King Johnny Ratty, the Emperor. So that looks like about. So he was Adelaide Open champion. Oh, that's Izzy in the back there.
Oh, Izzy, yeah.
Yeah, she was in part of the Empire. Matt Hayter would be there. Yeah, he must be off to the right.
Right, yeah, Izzy, sure, yeah.
Yeah, so they were all the Empire. So Izzy and very lucky. Like I said, Izzy, Hayter. I've got to watch them as young kids. Develop to who they are now. So I've always got a soft spot for those guys.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's awesome, dude. PWSA now, no more Snake Pit. Here we go.
Yeah, PWSA. That's the Luch by the looks of it. Half in the picture with me. God rest his soul. One of the good ones.
Yeah.
Used to drive me nuts. Like he drove me nuts.
The good ones always drive me nuts. That's the problem.
But it wasn't. It wasn't the bad nuts. It was. He was just very enthusiastic for the business.
Yeah.
And he every show before we'd go out, what can we do to get the crowd started? And I used to always get them wild up with the "You Are Gay" chants and things like that, and we had this whole thing at the time, "Smooch the Luch," and all this sort of stuff. So, but that's what he was. He wanted the crowd to be booing him. If he was going to be out there being the heel, the crowd had to boo him.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
So he'd say, "What are we going to say when we get out there?" So they're all, booing me. So, love the guy to death. Miss him. Yeah, miss him heaps. Absolutely. So, that was PWSA days, early days of PWSA when Johnny and everyone, obviously Johnny was a big fan of PWSA. That's where he started before PWSA closed. So with Snake Pit having the opportunity to change back guys like your Doc Kincaid, your Johnny Raddicks, and your Bellows, and your Southern Pit Bulls, all those guys were PWSA originals.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So it was cool to have that name back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Snake Pit was obviously had made a name for itself, but we always liked the fact that it was Pro Wrestling South Australia. It had the South Australia in it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Nah, that's awesome, dude. No, good.
Here it is.
Here it is.
That's when I actually had lost most of my weight.
There you go. Ah.
That's probably the happiest I was at that stage. I've got to get back there.
You will.
I've got to get back there. But yes, as you can tell, still a very young Matt Hayter. A very Adam Cole Matt Hayter. Used to do the old baby and the whole lot at that stage. Yeah. It just mirror image at that stage.
Yeah.
And look, he probably still has shades of it, but he's turned it into his own.
Yeah, of course.
Which is good. He just used that to play with, to be able to work it out.
Yeah, exactly. Try stuff out. Yeah.
So the funny thing here is, and I don't know whether he'll give me any credit for it. He probably won't. He was coming out doing promos, and obviously, young Matt Hayter hadn't done a lot. So that was always part of my job.
Yeah.
Help them through. With him, of course, a little bit Matt Hayter, I found having a go at him. And he was good at retaliating.
Yeah.
So we started off just messing around. He's trying to do a promo. I'd throw a few comments in when he'd stop. Then the crowd would just go nuts with the comments and stuff like that. So then that helped him a lot with his reactions to the crowd, being able to think on his feet, being able to do it quickly, to... And that's what I've said to a lot of people. Like, some of the bigger companies, they want you... Here's our rundown. You've got to say this, do this.
Yeah.
Some of the other companies I've done, and PWSA Snake Pit is very much one of them. Here's the basics. Go do it.
Yeah.
So, rightio, and then I would do it. And it's all straight out of my head.
Yeah.
I've had to do all sorts of weird and wonderful things, from people no longer with us to just I've been stepped in as marriage celebrants and reading straight off the thing or doing the whole thing. You've got to think on your feet and do all that, and that's what I've said to a lot of people in this business. Is being able to do that is part of a skill.
Yeah.
And I hope that I help Matt Hayter be the Matt Hayter he is on the mic today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because he was sort of fumbling his way through. Then I made him feel comfortable. Yeah. Because he knew that we're doing a little shit stir to each other out there. So love you. We would do the shit stir. Yeah. So as we progressed along, obviously he got better on his promos and things like that, and we were really. And we go back after one of the shows, and we're talking to the right people, and he goes, "We've got something here."
Yeah.
Everyone is loving the interaction with us.
Yeah.
So that's when we started going down the path of really pushing it, and Matt was getting right in my face. Getting right in my face, and everyone's wanting me to hit him and all this sort of stuff. So that's what eventually the build up, and this was the payoff, the cage match with Matt Hayter.
Well, hopefully one day we can get Hayter on here. He keeps dodging us, but one day we'll get him on here. Now this is going out for it, is it?
This is coming out, looking at the cage, looking at Matt Hayter inside the cage, getting ready for battle.
I love it. Here we go. Oof. Smashed him.
Yeah, big shoulder block. So watch the link, if you put the link up, watch the trash can lid to the head shots.
Oh.
It'll be the loudest thing you hear.
Jeez. I think there's a picture of it maybe coming up.
Yeah,
we'll see.
could be.
As you two having them.
Yeah, head to head.
Very, very bland Matt Hayter, all black.
Yeah.
Not the sparkly colours we see today.
No, he's progressed a long way. Like I said, and you know, like I said, this was his learning curve. This was Matt Hayter becoming Matt Hayter RCW champion. Matt Hayter taking on USA. Matt Hayter taking on Australian wrestling. This was where it all started.
Absolutely. No, well, to be in a cage match is pretty cool.
Here it comes. So if you watch that in the video, and if you hear how loud it is, you'll appreciate how hard he swung it.
Where is Johnny Radic in all this? I haven't seen him.
Matt attacked him at the start and locked him out of the cage.
Ah, right.
And every time, let's say we had a little bit of back and forth, but obviously stuff like this, Matt took control. So then he could go and, if John was starting to climb up, trying to get in the cage, he'd give him a shot back down. So it was, majority of it is, to start off with myself and Hayter. So, yeah, that's where Johnny was on the outside.
Oh, that's so good. So make sure you watch the link in the description, guys, so we make sure we watch this match. Oh, no. Busted wide open. From the trash can lid. So, obviously. Was this a Cole show, was it? Or?
It was. Cole would have been rolling in his grave to think I was in there wrestling on a Cole Devani tribute show. So, were we main event? No.
Surely.
No, Acid might have been. They had a cage match. He had a cage match as well. So.
Multiple cage matches. Oh.
I think we had it up for the whole night, did we? Or did we just put it up for these last... We might have put it up just for these last two. So we might have had a break. Me and Hayter, and then Acid, and I can't remember who he was, took on someone in the cage and defended the title.
Yeah.
And decided had to bleed more than me.
Far out. That's so good.
And there we are after the win.
There you go.
After the win, doing the Johnny pose.
So he obviously got in the cage then after all that.
Yeah, so eventually Jax came out and helped with a bit of distraction with Hayter. Then Johnny was able to climb in, get in the ring.
Yep.
You'll see it all on the video. But so eventually, a couple of moves from Johnny. I gave him a huge clothesline. Let's see you later.
Nice. I love it. There you go, celebrating the win.
Yeah, so as you can see, I think that's Jax there with me. Yeah, so yeah, hey, okay, it was a few of us and Hayter, but
hey, no,
that's what he deserved.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
what he deserved, Hayter.
A little rat deserves that, but what an honour to be in a cage match, man. That's awesome.
No.
There we go. Is this the Powerslam, is it? TV?
No, this is me commentating on PCW versus the Bullet Click DVD. Along with the beloved, God bless his soul, T-Bear.
Yeah.
One of my some of my commentary partners like to leave this world, unfortunately, and I think of them every day. But T-Bear, we did the commentary. We did a couple. We did AAW Perth,
nice,
and PCW versus the Bullet Click, obviously from Melbourne.
Yeah.
So that's where part of the voice of Australian wrestling grew in. Because all the different companies and from around the country, and the jacket was given to me by T-Bear.
Oh, nice.
He had that made up and gave me that jacket.
Yeah.
So I always remember every show
wicked.
before I go out, and I put my jacket on. That's yeah.
Well, your manager mustn't have passed on the memo. I was hoping the jacket would come out tonight, but that's all right. That's all right. I wanted to wear it. Here we go.
That's AWF.
AWF.
Australasian Wrestling Federation from Sydney.
There you go. Nice.
Ryback was on that show, along with Christopher Daniels.
Oh, man.
Christopher Daniels, wow, what a guy.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Nicest guy. It's funny how you see people and what you see of them from a distance, and then when you meet them.
Yep.
Christopher Daniels, I looked at him earlier in the day and thought, doesn't look like the friendliest guy in the world. But I've always loved his work.
Yeah.
Carry Man, and obviously was Suicide at one stage. And all that, and just his Christopher Daniels, the Fallen Angel stuff. I was, I liked TNA in those early years when they were doing some really good stuff.
Yeah.
And with the heights of the AJs and Samoas and Christopher Daniels and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So it was pretty cool to have him there. And we had the guy playing Suicide there at the time as well.
Nice.
So that was cool. But yeah, Christopher Daniels, eventually in the locker room, I got the guts. And so I'm going to get a photo.
Yeah.
So I went over to him. I said, hey, how you going? Love your work. Love Curryman. He said, he's in my boot somewhere. I'm like, okay. Then I said, you don't mind if I get a photo? Yeah, no, go for it. So I go to do the selfie photo.
Yeah.
He's, what are you doing? Getting a photo. Now give your phone to someone. We'll get some decent photos.
Yeah.
So I line up, get some photos with Christopher Daniels, have a bit of a chat to him. So
nice.
Very, very nice guy. It was very good to meet him. There was a lot of guys from Asia on the show as well.
Okay, yeah.
It was here in Adelaide, but I still credit it being a Sydney company. So
Yeah. No, that's fair enough.